Hello, and welcome to My Low Country Living. I'm Tommy Ray. Today I'm going to make one of my all-time favorites. It's a food I like to have, whether it's cold outside, I need some cold weather food, or I need some comfort food, and that is beef and barley soup. I love beef and barley soup, and it's really simple to make. You're going to love this recipe, so let's go ahead and get started. For the ingredients for our beef and barley soup, we'll start with 2 pounds of chuck roast that's been cut up to about 1-inch cubes. Now, if you need a shortcut, you don't want to cut that yourself, you can go ahead and go to your butcher, and a lot of times they'll have stew meat already prepared and cut up into those 1-inch chunks. Sometimes a little bit bigger and you might have to cut them down a little bit further, but it's a great shortcut if you want to go ahead and do that. In addition to the 2 pounds of beef, you'll also need 1 teaspoon of salt that we're going to divide, 1.5 teaspoons of pepper that will again divide, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 onion chopped up, 2 stalks of celery sliced, 3 carrots sliced, 3 cloves of garlic that we'll chop up, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and 64 ounces, which is 8 cups of chicken stock or chicken broth, 1 small bunch of thyme, 2 bay leaves, 6 peppercorns, 3/4 cup of pearl barley, 2 tablespoons of red wine, and then optional parsley for garnishing your soup. Now, in addition to that, we also might use 2 to 3 cups of water, depending on how much of our broth has evaporated or been soaked into the barley. Okay, let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and we're going to go ahead and put that into a Dutch oven on medium-high heat and let that start warming up. Next, we're going to go ahead and take our salt and pepper. We're going to use just 1/2 teaspoon of the salt and 1 teaspoon of the pepper, and we're going to go ahead and just season our steak with that. So just go ahead and pour that all around your steak. And then next, we're going to go ahead and cook the steak in small batches. So we'll go ahead and add some steak to our Dutch oven here. And we want to go ahead and brown this. Go ahead and brown your steak on all sides. Should take just 1 to 2 minutes. Once your first batch of steak is browned on all sides, you can go ahead and remove that steak and go ahead and put in another batch of the raw steak to go ahead and brown up. While the steak is cooking, we can go ahead and start dicing up our vegetables. And you can dice this up as small or as large as you want. Myself, I like to have large vegetables in my soup, so I'm making these a little bit bigger so we can get these nice spoonful-sized chunks of vegetables in the soup. Okay, now that all the beef is done cooking, we're going to go ahead and put the onion, celery, and carrots into the same Dutch oven. Sprinkle in the remaining salt and pepper, which is 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And we're going to let this cook in here for about 4 to 5 minutes until the vegetables start to brown a little bit. After 4 to 5 minutes, we'll go ahead and add our chopped garlic. This is 3 cloves of garlic chopped up. And we're going to go ahead and cook that in the vegetables for 1 to 2 minutes. And after those 2 minutes, we'll go ahead and remove the vegetables and put them in a bowl and set them aside. Next, we're going to take 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste, and we're going to go ahead and cook that in the same pan, same Dutch oven, for another 1 to 2 minutes just so that it can brown a little bit. After 2 minutes, we'll go ahead and add about 1 cup of the chicken broth and mix that tomato paste up in there. As you mix this up, you'll actually be deglazing the bottom of that pan. Then we're going to add about 2 more cups of chicken broth. And all of our beef. go ahead and stir that up in there and try to make sure that if you haven't deglazed the entire pot, that you scrape the bottom of that pot to go ahead and deglaze it all. Next, we'll take a small piece of cheesecloth and we'll add in our thyme, our 2 bay leaves, and our 6 peppercorns. Go ahead and take that cheesecloth and we're going to go ahead and tie it up to make a little sachet to put inside the soup. Okay, I got a little string here, and we'll take that string and just tie it around the cheesecloth here. Okay, there's our little bundle, and we're going to go ahead and dump that into the soup. Okay, next we want to go ahead and bring that up to a simmer, and then we'll put a lid on it and let it cook for about 1 hour to 1 hour and 15 minutes. After an hour and 15 minutes, go ahead and remove the lid and add your 2 cups of reserved broth. Next, we'll add our vegetables, and then we'll add our barley. Now, go ahead and let the barley cook until it's tender, which will be about another 30 to 40 minutes. That barley will absorb plenty of the liquid, so feel free to add more water or broth as needed towards the end of cooking. Once your 30 to 40 minutes is over, you can go ahead and stir in your vinegar and go ahead and serve. Enjoy. Thanks for joining us today on My Little Country Living as we made beef and barley soup. If you enjoyed this recipe, then please like this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this one. Thanks.